corner here at 1410 KGLN. It's time to talk South Tama wrestling with head coach for the Trojans, Nate Van Dyke. And Coach, you got a little bit of a late start in it this year, but things have been going along well. Your boys have been on the mat now, and you got a win in the tournament this past weekend. How are you feeling about your team at this point in the season?
I think those first 2 weeks made it a little bit rough getting back, just covering techniques and getting our bodies in shape. But we had some really good practices over the break, and we're able to, I think, make some strides, and then competed pretty well this past week. Like you said, won the team title at the Gary Curtis Highland Invitational. Did that with only one individual champ, so that says something about the other 13 wrestlers who were scoring points for the team as well.
Yeah, you had a lot of third-place finishers this past week, so, I mean, top three is pretty good, and there was some good competition there. How do you feel about your team at this point, maybe compared to other seasons in the past, and dare I say normal seasons in the past?
I think we're getting closer. If you would have asked me right before the winter break, I would have said our conditioning's a little bit behind and our technique's still a little bit rusty, but like I said, over break, we had a solid week of practices where I think we got a lot better. And I was excited last week to come out and see where we were at as a team. I think our conditioning's better. I think our technique looks better. And I think we competed at a high level. We won a close duel against Mount Vernon, who's got a good tradition, last Thursday. And then at Highland, didn't leave too many matches out there where you kind of think about afterwards, like, yeah, you could have, should have won some of those. So I think we're coming around. Not exactly maybe where we would be on a normal season, but we're trending upwards, I would say.
Very good. Brayton Smith was your winner this past week. He's ranked 8th according to the predicament at 182 pounds. He's 10-2 overall. What did you see from him this past weekend and as of late?
I think he's getting more comfortable wrestling a 6-minute match, and his conditioning that he can go the distance there. Super confident on his feet. He's moving very well. Are you still there, Chris?
I'm still here.
Okay. Like I said, what's that?
You're talking about Brayton. He's moving very well.
Right, he's moving very well on his feet, and I think he's really confident in that position. So he's having a good season.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had 3 matches and 3 pins this past week at 213, 115, and 104. So that was pretty impressive. Logan Arp at 132 pounds. He won by fall a couple of times, under a minute in his first 2 matches, and then lost 7-0 in the finals. He's ranked 5th at 132 pounds with a 9-3 record. What have you seen from Logan?
He's doing things that Logan does. You know, he's working super hard in practice. He's kind of grown into a leader on the team, which is really good to see. He's putting extra time in outside of our practices as well. And he's had some really good competition this year. You know, he's got a couple losses, but against high level opponents, and that's what we kind of look forward to. Just as far as getting us better for the end of the season, we want to be battle tested going in. So he ran into excuse me, Aiden Noonan from Cascade in the finals there at Highland, and Noonan's a returning state champ. So we didn't get that win, but you know, that competition is what we want, what we need.
Yeah, I mean, it was 7-0, but he didn't get pinned. I guess you can look at it like that. Is that a good kind of gauge, however you want to pronounce it, to where he is? I mean, Noonan is clearly one of the most dominant wrestlers in the entire state, and he's like a pin machine. And to go in and not get pinned, he didn't score on him, but I guess you'd call that a moral victory, I think.
Well, I'm not sure, but I will say I was very impressed with Noonan. I think he's a great wrestler. As far as Logan, he was very close to scoring several times. He was in deep on some attacks 3 or 4 times in that match and just wasn't able to finish them. And that's to Noonan's credit. You know, Logan will take down state place winners with that type of offense on his feet. Noonan did a good job of defending, and we've got to get better at finishing there if we want to beat the top 5% of the kids in the state.
Yeah, absolutely. That can only make him better going forward when he sees competition like that. Your other kid that's ranked is Peyton Best. He's fifth at 170. He finished third at this past week's tournament. He's 10-2 overall. What have you seen from my guy Peyton?
Peyton's still he's letting it go out there. He's scoring a lot of points. Sometimes puts himself in some interesting situations, but he had a good bracket over at Highland, and lost to a kid who was undefeated at the time. He's working hard, and I think his best wrestling this season is ahead of him.
Very good. So those are the three guys that are ranked right now. What have you seen from some of your other wrestlers so far this year?
We have a junior at 160, Bowden Kaler, who's wrestling very well right now. He's improved a lot. He's moving his feet better. His attacks are better on his feet. Rudy Papaki at heavyweight looks very well right now. He's wrestled some close matches with some high-level opponents. Very athletic for a heavyweight as a sophomore. Caleb Schrock won the Pella invite. He's solid there for us at 220. And then we've got some young guys doing very well. Kind of pleasant surprises. Mikhail Bear splitting time at 106 and 113. He's got a winning record. He placed third at Highland. Same thing with Amari Chavez. Very pleasantly surprised with him. He's doing an excellent job for us. He's a grinder, doesn't get tired. He placed third at Highland as well, and he won some big matches on Thursday night for us as well. So some of those young guys. And then a pleasant surprise, again, like kind of a free agent pickup at 145, Andreas Lugo. He wrestled a couple years ago and didn't go out last year, but his record doesn't show it yet. But he's gonna win a lot of matches for us just because his attitude's so well. He's working so hard in the room. Just kind of great support for his teammates. Kind of a spark plug for us in the room and at meets. And he's got a motor on him, so he's gonna continue to improve because he's not the most experienced wrestler we have, but he's doing some good things.
When we talked in our wrestling preview back in November, you had mentioned it's way too early at the time to see some of these young wrestlers. Is that the last kid you mentioned? Is that sort of a surprise? I mean, what have you seen, if any, surprises from some of your young wrestlers that you were unsure of coming into the team?
Well, I kind of talked about it. Lugo's actually a junior. He just didn't go out as a sophomore, but Mikhail Bear is a starter for us. Amari Chavez, like I said, both doing a great job. And then Chase Gustafson is another freshman who isn't a regular starter for us, but he's had some varsity matches for us, and he's done very well too. He's very strong, very athletic. So I'm pleased with where our freshmen are at, and they're gonna help us out and they're gonna contribute.
So what tournaments, other duels do you have coming up that you're kind of looking forward to seeing? Maybe some competition coming up?
We've got senior night this Thursday against Solon at home there. They're ranked 16th in duels, and I think it's going to be a great duel. I think it's going to be very competitive. I think it's one we can win if we wrestle well. So that's going to be a fun night. I just got the email that we're letting households in, and then +2 spectators up on top of the household for each athlete. So hopefully we can bring some fans in. And then we go to Ankeny. Our varsity goes to Ankeny on Saturday, and it's going to be a barn burner at Ankeny. There's going to be some high-level competition. They added some very good teams, and on top of the teams that were already there, such as Linmar, Johnston, Indianola, and you've also got Ankeny there, Mason City. So we're going to see some high-level competition this week. We're just getting into kind of the grind of the season, maybe this week and the next couple outings. So we're excited for that for this week's competition.
And of course, it's all a countdown to the conference meeting, and then after that, sectionals are on February 6th. You'll be going to Nevada with BCLUW, South Arden, East Marshall, Grinnell, Nevada, of course, the host school, and West Marshall. What are you? I mean, between now and then, what are your goals? What is your outlook to try and get your boys ready for sectional?
Get better every day. Continue to have those similar practices like we did over break, and I think we've had maybe 2.5 weeks of just great practices. we've got to get in better shape, and we've got to clean some things up, and some guys are still learning. So I think we're still looking at it as a team aspect, but as we get closer to the postseason, we can individualize more and more. Goal at sectionals, we want to place top 2 and put ourselves in that regional duel. So, but to be honest, we're not really looking past this week because we've got plenty of work to do this week yet. So,
absolutely, it's one step at a time. But it's just good that everybody's back on the mat, and this your team doing really good. Obviously, 3 ranked wrestlers right now, and some solid records overall. Coach, really appreciate your time here on Coach's Corner, and best of luck to you and your boys on the mat. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Nate Van Dyke, head coach for South Tama Wrestling, joining us here on Coach's Corner, sponsored by Farm Bureau Financial Services with agent Larry Horbach in Toledo on 1410 KGRN.